Hey everybody online, welcome to our first ever Table Talk. Come on. And so we've got three special guests here, and I want to introduce them to you. First off, on my left, why don't you introduce yourself?
Oh, you said you were going to introduce
That
us.
is true.
Oh,
I'll
sure.
do it. My name's Brett. Good to see you today.
Come on.
Up next,
I'm Randy Young.
one more time. Tell them one more time.
I'm Randy Young.
For the people in the back.
The people in the back. I like
The
it.
people in the back, let them know.
Let 'em go.
And we got in the corner,
on.
come on.
DeAndre, how you guys doing? Come
Let's
on.
go,
I'm excited
let's
to be
go.
here.
Love it.
Not
Like
a
your
guest.
glasses.
I don't know. Why am I saying it like that? But
I don't know. You're good. This
Long
is great.
time listener, first time caller.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. What's your favorite quote? What was it? You park in the back. What was it? Park in the back, sit in the front. Is that what it is? I don't
Sit
know.
close, Park Farm.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey,
sit close,
come on
park
now.
far.
That's
I
what
like
I'm
that.
talking
It's
about.
good.
First in,
Yeah,
last
it's
out.
good.
Let's go.
Come on.
Well,
Let's go.
we've got a new
Vibes.
segment. We got a new segment here called Table Talks, and basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna come to a table
And talk.
and we're gonna talk. It's
Come
easy.
on, I
Today's
like
a
it.
special feature. We got hot wings,
Yes.
fresh and ready.
Walk-in edition.
Spicy.
Yeah, they're spicy,
We're
and
all
so
moving in.
so you have a plan for how we're gonna eat these, right?
Yeah. So we all say, we all have these filler words. And so I thought every time one of us says a filler word, we have to eat a hot wing. So, like, my filler word is So every time I say, like, an I got to drop and grab a hot wing
Okay.
and just go.
I'm gonna call you out.
So, yeah, and we got to call each other out for sure on it. So,
Boom.
see? I just did it.
Start eating. Okay, so is your filler word.
You gotta eat the whole hot wing? Is that what we're
The
doing?
whole hot wing. It's all yours. Randy, what's your filler word?
Well, Brett was saying okay. I say okay a lot, I guess, apparently.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I guess because I'm so positive.
Now you're
Yeah.
baiting him into it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's actually perfect because I can
gotta-
say your words.
I gotta be really careful.
I just gotta not say my word. Actually, I kind of want to eat some wings. So, okay, so your word is okay, and DeAndre,
I think that's mine.
what do you think?
Ah, you just did it. Ah!
I think that's fine. So the phrase "I think" that's yours. Think. Okay. And for me, mine is kinda.
Kinda.
I say kinda a lot, and so that's mine. So from now, starting right now.
I think I kind of see that.
Okay. Okay. How you feeling today?
Good.
Okay.
Kind of.
We're coming off the rail.
I'm really good.
Well,
We're gonna
obviously.
need more paper towel.
Yeah, I got some for you. Don't worry. Do you want some paper towel?
No, we're good. We're good.
Okay.
We're good.
Okay. So maybe we can start off this table talk. Obviously, there's been all this crazy news happening
Yeah.
in the world. Some countries are going into quarantine, and like we're obviously practicing social distancing. But
Right.
what's the thing that's changed the most for you since this kind of season has started with coronavirus? What's been the biggest change in your life?
I guess
Anybody?
I can go. I think I would say that
You did it.
that was not
That was
okay.
it's okay. Take a bite. Just take a bite.
I'll go first.
Tricked him.
For me, when people I don't know what it is, but when people say a joke, they like to move in. And so when I'm like talking with somebody and they say a joke and they move in, I feel awkward. And I'm like, okay, do I step back? Or do I like laugh? And I'm like, because it's not funny. Like, I don't want to get your corona. Like, I don't want to do all that stuff.
I want your corona.
I don't want your corona. So I'm like, oh man, I guess I'll just stay here.
So it's like staying away from people, like
Yeah.
having to distance yourself, even in
100%.
public, with
Yeah.
the few small meetings you have.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think that's a big change. Just being aware of your surroundings. I feel like
True.
walking into a room, I'm just thinking, okay, like what am I touching with my hands?
Yeah.
Who's
Like,
here?
Yeah, who's
not
here? Who's not here?
Yeah.
Like all of those things. And
If they're not here, did I have any contact with them this week? And is that why?
is there a reason they're not
Do I
here?
need to go home immediately?
Yeah.
Yeah. What about for you, Randy? What's changed?
I think the biggest thing would be just not knowing the future.
Okay.
I'm a pretty good planner. Like I like my days consistent, and I kind of have things planned ahead. But even going to the store, like you see a lot of this and that, and should you get it or not get it, like will it be a shortage tomorrow?
Okay.
Tell us your toilet paper story. What's your best toilet paper story?
Which one?
Because by the way, Harmon is hoarding so much
I
toilet
am
paper
not.
right now
Okay.
that you can't even get into his bathroom.
I have bowel issues. Okay. And I gotta be prepared, okay? I gotta be prepared. I don't know what that means, but I just want to be prepared.
Well-
You never know.
Even I was at Costco and they didn't have any, which I was shocked and toilet paper, which I was like, so toilet paper and paper towel and only Kirkland water, you know. So I was shocked that they didn't have any, and I was just talking to the guy, and he said, "Yeah, we're gonna have some in tomorrow at 10 o'clock. We have a shipment coming." So my thought the next day was, "Oh, I'll go and get some at 10 o'clock," and you know, my wife's like, "Let's not buy into this hype and fear and all the rest of it." So you're like, "Okay, totally fine." Oh man, did I say okay?
Yeah, you did. That's good.
Fine.
Come on, take a bite.
Fine.
Take a bite.
Such a define.
Yeah.
So
So Sasha says, let's not buy into this hysteria. You know, hope not hype.
yeah, and so we didn't, and then we realized a week later that we still haven't been able to get any.
Serious.
So then it's starting to kind of like, oh my goodness, like starting to live in fear. But then I went to the store one time, and just happened, and there was enough, lots. So kind of like this unknown of what tomorrow holds, trying to plan but not live in that fear. So it's been kind of that balance between, you know, trying to plan, but again, not letting fear overtake you to that, like just jump to that conclusion of, oh, this is going to happen and that we're not going to have this. And, you know, even to work schedules, we normally have our days kind of planned out and what our weeks look like, but in this situation, it's basically hour by hour, you know?
Yeah.
It's true.
So that's kind of been the biggest thing, is just your normal schedule of life just thrown out the window.
Definitely.
And we just got to live in the
Come on.
moment without giving into fear, but still trying to plan for the future when the future's unknown. So that's
Yeah.
kind of been the biggest thing, I think.
Yeah, almost like in this flux. Makes it hard. So, DeAndre, the wings are not the only thing that are hot and spicy in your life right now.
Yes.
I've heard some news. I've heard some
On
news
the
that
podcast, on
on
the
the
table,
pod-
on the table talk,
On the
We're gonna
table
be
talk.
talking
Just
about
go in
that.
there
We're
right
going
We're
now.
going there.
So I heard you have a new love interest.
Yeah, what is that?
What is it
look
like? Like
COVID-19
COVID-19.
dating
Are you
rules.
planning to quarantine together?
Whoa,
Are you
no,
guys-
absolutely not.
That's what I'm
As a
saying.
pastor speaking,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know,
that's
I
true.
guess there's no room for a fault. You
Hey,
know?
well, if her parents are there, is it weird?
This is my thing. Like,
Yeah.
you gotta be like super creative when you're going on dates now, because it's like everything's closed. Like you can't see a movie.
No.
You can't do a restaurant. Like I gotta cook at home. I gotta learn.
Yeah.
So are you just changing
You know
up
what
your
I mean?
virtual backgrounds on Zoom?
He's in Paris.
So I just wanted to take you on a trip.
I love it. Okay, so what are some things that you've done with dates? How have you gotten
This is
creative?
hot tips right now.
Yeah, this is hot.
This is maybe a segment.
Yeah,
Hot COVID-19 dating tips.
Come on.
Maybe hot's the wrong word.
Yeah, hot. We should move away from
Classy,
Cult? No.
classy dating
Yeah,
tips with
yeah.
DeAndre.
how to court a woman in 2020.
Classy courtship.
Ooh.
Let's buy that domain. Classy courtship.
But not.
Classy COVID courtship.
Oh my gosh, if that exists, I'd be surprised.
Let's buy it.
Yeah, let's do it. Anyways, come on, tell us your ideas. How have you been dating?
Come on. Wow. I think so. It's walks. You know what I mean? Let's go
Walks?
for walks. Yeah, man. You can walk outside.
Like, do you guys walk
distant?
10? Do you walk 10 meters apart or like?
There's no
Yeah.
hand holding in this environment.
Yeah, you.
I mean, you can definitely wash your hands first, and then you know what I mean.
Sure.
Put a little bit of hands. Maybe even get the like.
Hand sanitizer. You guys
Hand
both put a hand
sanitizer.
sanitizer and then.
Wearing gloves.
come together, rub it in. You know what I mean? That's good. I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
What else? I think just this past Saturday, actually.
Past Saturday.
Yeah, I invited her over to my house. And we just yeah, man. I
Okay.
won't lie. That's-
You're not gonna lie. This is the truth
This is
table.
the
You can
truth
tell the
table,
truth.
man. From
There's
my
no
house.
judgment, at least right now.
Made her
But-
dinner.
Nice.
Made her
Had a
dinner.
nice date. Yeah.
Nice
Good.
date.
Was anyone else present?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, there's multiple people there.
Yeah.
It was a party. Yeah. Not one on one.
All right.
No,
all
no,
right,
why?
all right,
Why
all
would I
right.
do that?
Respect.
Yeah, respect. Have you guys? So obviously, three of us are fathers here. And so I hope you don't have a child
I
right
do
now.
not have
Okay,
a child
good.
that I know of.
Hey, I'm just saying.
I'm just joking.
I'm just saying.
Mom,
Moving
I'm
on from the
joking.
dating.
Just kidding.
But what's been the vibe at home with having kids? Like my son's only 8 months old, and so nothing really has changed. He's kind of always been at home. He's not off to school. But you guys have students who've been out of school now for like a week, and so what has that been like? How has that changed home life? And yeah, what are some ways you've changed your life because of that?
I would say I don't have to, like, I'm out oftentimes at the office or at the church, so I'm not even experiencing the full extent of it. But going stir crazy with little guys, you know, my boys are 7'5", so they're full of energy. So there's no, did I say
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, you did, bro.
Sorry, dude.
There's so much amazing content that's out there. My boys are loving Mo Willems. He's an illustrator and author, and he's doing a daily doodle.
Cool.
So they love like doing that. Every morning they wake up, they're doing a Lego challenge. Lego's got a Lego
Oh,
challenge.
that's sick.
Cool.
Oh,
So every day they wake up, they're like, "What's the challenge? What's the challenge?" They'll try and track it down.
That's really cool.
And so I'm just like, shout out to the moms.
Yeah.
Like, it's the moms that
100%.
make the world go round.
Yeah.
And
100%.
I mean, there might be a time when we're all at home together, but for right now, I'm kind of in and out as we're going about our daily lives. So I just think the biggest change, we need to support the moms that are on the front
Yeah.
front line.
Definitely.
Yeah. And I
I've eaten
think
so many wings.
I think part of it too is depends on the age of your kids. My kids are 5, 4, and 10 months. So I really believe my wife is super mom. How she's able to do so much creative stuff.
That's cool.
Plus, our kids are a little bit different too in the situation where my son has a thing called PKU, where protein is toxic to his body. So my wife makes a separate meal that's specific for him, and then my daughter, who's 4, has autism, and so she's got a special diet that my wife makes a meal for her, and then we have our 10-month-old who has a meal that's just for him,
Yeah.
and then she makes a meal for us. So she's basically making like 4 different meals every meal, and so feeding them all the time. But you know, my son who's 5 doesn't totally understand what's going on. He just knows there's a virus that's really bad out there. And so his best friend from Calgary was coming up for spring break. And when my wife told Patrick that his friend was not able to come because of the virus, I mean, it was like a meltdown, like the end of the world. Like, I'll never see, you know, him again. We can't go to the movies. Like, they were planning to go to the movies and go swimming and staying at a hotel and like all that. So it just was like so much stress on him. Like, it was literally the end of the world for him. And they just don't understand the context of, you know, what temporary means. Because time for, you know, a 5-year-old, time doesn't really, he's getting the time concept set up. He knows what Friday means, and he knows what Sunday means and what Monday means, but the length of like months and weeks and stuff is still kind of, you know, not a concept. So he's trying to figure that out. So for him, it was just the end of the world, you know, just the end of the world. So it's tough on the younger kids because it's just so they just can't comprehend, I think, the context of everything. I think kids that are in teenage years, they're still devastated, you know, like when basketball is canceled, you know, hockey's canceled, there won't be playoffs possibly. I mean, you know, that's devastating, but they kind of understand, I think, that there is going to be an end to it.
That was my thought. You guys work with students,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? Next gen pastors. So what's the biggest struggle that you're seeing right now?
Yeah. Well, I think I was going to say, I don't know if it's just kids that are struggling. Like, I'm seeing all age groups
Yeah.
really trying to figure out how to move forward. Like,
For sure.
and there's been, especially in the news, like a lot, especially if you watch the news, a lot of hysteria and just like people freaking out. But I think, you know, for us at home, like, there's been, like, when I say home, I mean like the next gen department, like, a lot of students just like frustrated that their years got cut short. You know, I was talking with one girl who she does basketball and her basketball season was over. She's also graduating. She's in grade 12, so her like school year, her last year in school in high school gets cut short. They're not going to have a grad. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, there's all these like huge like, you know, like milestones.
Milestone moments.
Yeah.
Milestone moments that they are kind of like missing out on. And so there's definitely like this, almost like this loss. Like, they're almost like there's like this mourning that's happening that's like I'm losing out on my best years, or my, you know, what they in their minds is, you know, the highlight of their high school life. And so that's what I'm noticing with high school students. But
Yeah.
what about junior highs? How's that shifted?
I think like just like
I think. Let's go. Let's go. What's your word, by the way? I forgot already.
It's kind of
I think it should have been like.
Yeah, I think
like
so.
we can change it. We're changing it.
Like.
Cause I'm hungry here.
Yeah.
I had one wing. I'm like, I need to
My goal is to have this
not be
stay
so
the
good at
same.
this game.
What's the next word again?
What's word?
What's Randy's word?
Randy's word
not
is
saying it.
oh
Fine.
wait, it's okay.
It's okay.
Okay, it's okay. I'm gonna move.
I'm trying
to,
really hard.
I'm gonna move to
actually,
like.
not to say it.
I'm gonna move to like.
Yes. Yes.
I love it.
Come on.
So yeah, how's junior highs?
I think.
Another one. Take double.
Dude!
Okay, how is he gonna eat 2 at one time? 2 at one time.
Let's
Just
go.
like this. I have a friend that can eat like hot wings with like one mouth, like one bite, and just like
Oh,
Yeah,
that's so
yeah.
gross to me.
That is.
crazy.
Yeah, that's not me.
You should
Shout
try
out
it.
to
though.
Philippe. Anyways,
Just trying some
Okay.
actually, yeah. Okay. So, anyways,
I've been pondering. That's a better word for you.
Meditating on the Lord.
I know.
no, but I feel like with junior highs, there was like excitement at first, because you know, oh, I'm not going to school, I'm not doing all that stuff, and I have time to like chill. But after, as the days like go on, I was gonna say it, but I'm not. That I feel like there's a lot of, I don't know, uncertainty, and like depression can kick in super easy, where it's like, yeah, like sure I can play a video game or like chill at home a lot, but it's like, you know, I'm not gonna be hanging out with other people, or I'm not gonna go to school, or I'm not gonna like, I'm gonna be at home all day, and that just like
Yeah.
takes a toll, like emotionally and like mentally. And so I think, yeah, for at least
You just said
my-
I think.
Yeah.
It's a sensitive moment. Lisa.
I know, thank you.
He's going deeper.
I am.
He's at 3
I know,
right
but
now.
let
This
him
is
pour,
the ticker. This is
let
the
him
counter.
pour his heart out for crying out loud. We'll give you some grace there. We're under grace.
There's
right
no
now.
mercy at the table. This is not the table of the Lord. This is table talk.
Come on, table talks. Hot Wings edition. No, but I think you're bang on with like that.
You said like.
Why did I change my word? Like where? Oh my gosh, I cannot.
There we go.
I should.
Dude, when it gets deep, it's hard.
It's
Yeah.
totally hard.
It's hard.
That L word is a different.
Okay, I think I'm going to issue a challenge to everybody watching. Whatever you're doing at supper time today,
Yeah.
Yeah.
try this.
Yeah.
Find your filler words and then do this and then get something that you really don't like on your plate. I mean, we all like hot wings, but
Yeah.
They're
you
hot.
know, get
They are
something
hot.
on there and try this at your supper table. I'm just buying you some time.
Yeah,
to-
yeah, yeah.
It's a
Collect
comfort,
your
that's
thoughts.
why.
To
It's
eat.
a comfort. Like, I feel comfortable when I say
Definitely.
the word. But
Yeah.
anyways,
I'm making up
Your
for
word was again?
I don't know.
it. You're just baiting people. It's not fun.
It doesn't take a lot.
So what I've noticed, it's gonna be so difficult to talk. I'm gonna be talking so slow now. Is that because people are staying home, that they, like at least what I'm seeing, aren't necessarily getting dressed,
That's
aren't
a like,
necessarily.
but I'll count it down for you.
Yeah, just hold the finger up there.
Yeah.
They aren't getting dressed. They're maybe staying in bed, staying in their pajamas, and so I've heard a lot of talk about like keeping a routine.
Exactly.
And so, what do you think are some of those things that, like, if you are at home, that you should have in your routine? Like, what are the things that need to be in our routine, even if we are isolated or self-isolating or anything like that? What things can we do to make sure that we still have a routine?
Brush your teeth, I think.
Put your pants on.
Hey.
Go into
Pajama pants are a sign of depression.
Yeah.
If you hit 3 days
Yeah.
and you haven't.
that. Can we say that?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, John Acuff.
Yeah.
He put out a. I said
Yeah.
He put out a
What do you put out?
post. A post.
yeah.
He put out a post.
Yeah.
And on that post, he said he was working from home for 3 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
3 years.
I'm struggling. Working out for 3 years, and he had to put pants on because his pajama pants were depressing. And he's like, seriously, put on pants.
No.
Like
Yeah.
3 days, anything past 3 days, like you're gonna go down the tubes. So honestly, put your pants on and stop wearing pajama pants, and they're not acceptable in public.
Well, yeah, like I had the privilege of working from home in a bunch of different jobs where flex schedules where you could work from home or work at the office, things like that. And I found that when I worked from home in those scenarios, you would just get up with the family, have your coffee, have breakfast, go kind of lounge around, work, but you don't have to shower, you don't have to dress, and it can get really depressing. It can start to go down spiraling, especially if you got the whole family together. You know, then you all start to kind of live in that lifestyle. I think the best thing in this kind of scenario is where you get up, you brush your teeth, you shower, you dress as if you're ready to leave the house.
Yeah.
You do your work, you play with the kids.
Yeah.
You know, you give a chance for your wife to have the shower, all that stuff, and then you kind of live as if you're going to be going out, or that somebody's going to come over at any moment. And I think if you leave that, like your house, try and keep your house relatively clean, then depression's not as easy to set in, because depression slowly creeps in, right? It doesn't just hit all of a sudden.
Yeah.
You know, like right now we're in the middle of shock right now. So people might be starting to slip into depression, but I still think we're in the shock moment. You know, people getting their jobs laid off, not finding the supplies they need, their special foods that they need to find.
Yeah.
It's shocking because this hasn't happened like at this level. And we think, well, maybe, you know, it's just Alberta, but then you look and the US are making spoofs of videos of stuff that are actually relevant for you, and you're like, oh my gosh, their zone is hit just as much, like exactly like ours, right? So I think right now, I think what people need to do is just kind of live their life as best they can. Go get the mail, you know, go for walks. But yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pivoting, by the way. His word is you know.
That's what I was thinking.
It's you
I
know.
was thinking that.
So we're switching up because you got to eat some wings.
Okay.
And so, guys, if I'm out of wings, do I leave the table?
Yeah, you're
like,
done.
is that how
You're,
this
you're
works?
shunned.
Last
You
person
don't get
standing.
invited back.
Last person standing.
I'm just kidding.
What was my new word?
You know.
You know.
Okay.
This guy, man.
Bold.
The dad jokes.
Bold.
I can't. I
Bold.
love it. Well, we're going to wrap this thing up. And so just kind of one final question
Hurrah. Oh,
for all of you is if you, like, sorry, I was about to go into a very doomsday moment. It's not going to go there. But, like, if there's a moment or a piece of advice or hope that you can give to people, what would that be? In this season, what do you want to encourage people to do, you know? And maybe it's a pastoral thing. Maybe it's just a quick tip. But what's your one thing?
My one thing, we might need a counter. My one thing, if you make this time only about you, you will never get out of it.
Yeah.
We can change the atmosphere of our hearts and our homes when we lead with generosity and gratitude. So if I'm thankful for what I have instead of being angry about what I don't, if instead of hoarding, I'm giving it away
good.
and I'm putting it in people's hands.
It's my pastor.
You know, we created, that's a counter. No, I said, anyways. We created those neighbor cards.
Yeah.
If you're self-isolating, here's my name, here's my phone number.
Yep.
Get those out, and we can maybe put those in the. I don't know if we have show notes, but we do
Yeah.
now. We can put those in a link in the show notes
Sure.
and get a link to that, so you could print it off and deliver it to your neighbor.
Totally.
Help somebody,
Yeah.
and it will help you.
Yeah.
Whatever comes to you, it's speaking of the love of God. Let it flow through you.
Yeah.
Love your neighbor
Yeah.
as yourself, and we're loving ourselves a lot in self-isolation. Love somebody else, and we'll break you out
Yeah.
of your own cage.
Yeah. Because there's gonna be a moment that you need help. You know
Yes.
what I mean? There's gonna be a moment, whether it's toilet paper, I've got that stocked up, whatever it is, right? You're gonna need help, and you want to be someone who sewed into that and said, you know what, when I had enough that I actually gave away and I was able to help people, so then when the time comes that you need help, there's people who see you and say, hey, that person helped me out, I'm gonna help them out too, and just like let's build that community,
Yes.
100%.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah, no, it's good. Being able to receive help too when you need to have help. You know, we want to be strong and supporters.
Yeah.
I would say though, the biggest thing is to model not only to your kids if you have kids, or if you're mentoring people, or the rest of your family or your neighbors, that you don't need to live in fear. Be thankful for the things that you do have, but also know that God's in control, and if He takes it away, you're still going to be thankful. You know, I think when Brett preached a couple of weeks ago about Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego,
Hello.
yeah.
and it was, my God is able to deliver. My God will deliver me. But even if He doesn't, I still will praise Him. So I think we need to focus on that.
Yeah.
And as we can do that, then and we can model it to our kids as they grow up and they remember back to these years and they talk about the virus, they won't remember the fear that we lived in, but they'll remember us helping others,
Wow.
delivering bread, doing things like that.
Amazing.
So take this as an opportunity to be able to have impact on your kids. And then what will happen is in those situations, when they're talking about you when you're gone, they're going to tell about the stories about how you delivered the bread, as opposed to we went and got 50,000 paper towel or toilet papers.
I'm gonna need about 50,000 with my fingers.
Yeah, exactly.
swinging juice here.
So I think we just got to focus on that, and bring
Yeah.
out the positive, which is
Totally.
3. I did 3.
Yeah, I don't even care.
I tried so hard.
I'm just gonna go.
Yeah, go
I
for
don't
it.
even care.
Yeah.
I'll just say like.
Yeah.
Or
Or I think.
I think.
It's like, isn't it?
I don't know. I don't know what
No,
it
switch
is.
Switch it.
Oh, we switched it.
Like.
No, I was like.
Yeah,
He's a
it's
thing.
like-
Okay,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think.
Anyways, so I think that it's so easy for us to like be isolated and like get away from people, and I think for us we should really like stay in community, but be smart. I think, but stay in community, whether that's like FaceTiming or like maybe even I don't know, like keeping in touch with people, whether that's just like a text message here or there or like just FaceTime or call somebody, like for me, I know when I wake up, I like call 2 friends just like to give me that kind of joy and like talk and like really be personal. And I feel like, if you're out of touch, you're more likely to be in those like sad moments and like, so,
Yeah.
yeah. And even if you have like a family too, it's like, it'd be cool to contact another family and be like, hey, like, so what are you doing? Like, how are you coping? And it's like, because I feel like even as like men and stuff, we can be so like isolated already. And it's like, I feel like we need to branch out. So how many I think was that?
That was 3, I think.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Finish off your wings.
solid.
I'll kind of end with this, and I think now more than ever we have so much time, like especially being home, and we should make use of that. Like I know for me, like there's so many things that I've wanted to do, like learn piano and play my guitar better, and like there's so many things that I've wished I've had time to do, and now we actually have the margin and time to be able to do those things, and so it doesn't have to look like quarantine if eventually we get there. I don't think we're getting there right now, but if we have to get there, I think that we should. Sorry, is my words not? I think is it?
It's like.
It's like oh, I'm saying a lot. We shouldn't necessarily just be stuck on Netflix and on YouTube and like we can do something productive. Like I've always wanted to like learn how to paint. I've always wanted to do so many different things, and so use that time like now. Like you have time, so I'm not saying like that much, am I?
That's it.
Anyways, I say like a lot. It's okay.
Here you can have my wings.
Yeah, just everyone.
Thank you for joining us on Table Talk. We gotta bring this to a close.
Yeah.
He's out of wings. He doesn't have enough. We're gonna have to,
He's gonna take mine.
we can't even share wings
He's
because
taking
of
mine.
no, he can't. COVID-19. You can't share your wings.
That's right.
We're out. Thanks for joining us.
Come on, we love you guys. We'll see you
Table
soon.
Talk.